Hello, StarCraft fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. This is a game between Raze and Tang on Ulrena. This is a game between players between the professional Team Ascension team and Team All Inspiration. And this is a GM-level game played on the North American ladder. Alright, in the top left side of the map we have the yellow Terran player. It is Raze representing Team Ascension. Specifically, their professional team. And in the bottom left side of the map, we have the red Zerg player. It is Tang from All Inspiration. If you want to get coached by All Inspiration, there's a link in the bottom here in the description to get some coaching for StarCraft 2 to make yourself a better player, because who doesn't want to be a better player, honestly? I bet even players like Pult and like Hydra and players like that want to be better, especially considering the results of some games this last weekend. Not going to spoil anything here, but just keep that in mind. Alright, so TvZs on this map do generally turn into kind of big Roach Ravager fests for Zerg, where they come up this big ramp here. It's really hard to wall off. They threaten the natural base for Raze. I guess for the Terran player, not Raze specifically every time, that'd be really annoying, but for the Terran player, and try to prevent them from taking anything like a third or a fourth base. On the other hand, Liberator plays pretty good here too, as there are some good areas you can fly down and snipe these mineral patches. This base is also fairly easy to take for the Terran player. It is fly down to command center. It is a gold base, and it is very easy to hold with missile turrets and planetary fortresses too. The other gold base on this map is over here. So it's really hard. I haven't seen anybody take this in a long time. I feel like maybe once or twice it's happened, just because you start here and then kind of expand your way out and around, and by the time you get to this point, the other player has a giant army and will probably come and kill it. So really don't see this taken very much. See this one taken a little bit more frequently, though. Is that going to be... Oh, okay. So Reactor coming up on this barracks. We're not going to see an early Reaper from Raze. Heading up north here is this Overlord, and it's just a 1 Rax expand from Raze. Very standard play indeed, and looks like a hatch first into an extractor, into a pool based on the timings here from Tang. Alright, so in production we have Queens. We have an orbital command that just finished at that second base, and two Lings gonna pop out now to join the 0 that are already on the field. Tang is not feeling, let's see, I want to say he's not feeling too worried about things that are coming his way. He did get a nice scout with that Overlord and saw there is not a Reaper coming. No need to get those Lings. Use those on drones instead, which puts him, holy smokes, I am not used to my Servant Obs interface. 20 to 19 Harvester disadvantage by 1. Now he's caught up to 20 to 20 versus his Terran opponent. I like the placement of the Overlord. You can scout this area, see what gas has been taken by the Terran player. That can be a good tell for the Zerg player as well. And now the question is, where do we go for Raze? The answer is a factory. Barracks into a factory. Probably going to be in a starport next. SCV gets a nice scout off. Doesn't see anything, though. I mean, there's not a Roach Warren, which is kind of an interesting thing, as I believe in the games I cast in the past from Tang, that he really does like his Roaches and his Ravagers, but it's entirely possible he has something else in mind today for his yellow Terran friend. So here goes the factory. Do we see a starport next? Ready to go, starport, and do we do? It's the 1-1-1 build with the command center thrown on in there. Factory under Reactor, gonna get some Hellions out. It's some late harass, I think, from Raze. Like, the harassment potential here is pretty good, but man, there are already Queens out. Is there a Roach Warren up? There's not even a Roach Warren up. There's one on the way. There it is, down there, but not going to be up anytime soon. And so the Roaches should be able to get some attacks off here, maybe, or so the Hellions should be able to get some attacks off before the Roaches actually pop and try to defend. It's going to be a very narrow window, though, for Raze, and I wonder if he knows that. He's just kind of hanging out. There he is. Now he's moving out across the map, across this map of Ulrena, which looks like a Marine on the side, if you look at it closely. Anyway, the Hellions take this on like a watchtower. They're not actually going to be aggressive. I wonder if Raze realizes this. I bet he says, you know what? This is late. It's almost 4 minutes into the game. Tang likely has Roaches. He likely has a ton of Queens. I'm not going to get many kills here, but I can deal with any Lings that come up and try to harass. So maybe that's his plan. A scan comes down from Raze, and he does see a Spore Crawler there. Again, the Liberator potential in this area is good. Spore Crawler being tossed down is an excellent decision by our friend Tang here. And Hellions, Medivacs, Hellions. Interesting Medivac Hellion, which tells me we're probably going to see Hellbats here at some point. Let's see. Hellbat requires an armory. Or do we have an armory coming up? No. Okay, so I guess it's just for these Marine fellows then. moving right on down. Here come the Hellions, and they do get a couple shots off, but the Roaches chase them away almost immediately. A couple of Roaches come on in, and again, they just do so little damage here to the Roaches, trying to come through, but holding the line fairly well here. Oh, the Marines now helping a lot there. The Marines doing more damage to the Roaches, which is sad because Hellions don't do a lot anyway there. They are going to get a Queen. Can they snipe it down, or can it run for its life? It does actually manage to escape with its life. A Queen comes to the back and stabs down a Hellion. Some of these drones are going to die. Defense here are Queens and 2 Roaches. Pretty good. Another Roach pops out. Wow. Picks up and gets the heck on out of there. Raze. Oh, and he gets the medevac. Oh, Tang. Tang got the medevac. Nicely done there. Wow. So 4 Marines inside that medevac. All of them completely dead now. Command Center coming up, taking a third behind that attack is Raze. Raze trying to come on in with a Banshee. Again, does you know about this? Nope, doesn't know about the Spore Crawler, but seems to be moving on out anyway. Checking to make sure nothing is holding that Zeldonga watchtower that she can kill. Spreading the creep across this very, very, very narrow choke is Tang, and a third hatch coming up almost complete. Tang was making a third during that attack. That's so great. That is so great for Zerg players. Alright, so 46 to 44 total harvesters. Raze is continuing to macro up fairly well in the lead here. Queen chasing away that Banshee. One-on-one, a Queen can take a Banshee. If the Queen is already damaged, it's not as easy, and if there are 2 Banshees, definitely not. But one-on-one, the Queen has that win. Creep spread going to happen here before the Banshee notices. Yes, yes indeed it is. The Queen's going to check for this third base, maybe kill a couple easy-to-kill workers. Spore Crawler, double spores though. Tang really wants to make sure none of his guys die to that Banshee that he knows exists. Creep spread could probably stand to be pushed up there a little bit more. Meanwhile, our Terran player does have a Viking and a tank, making all sorts of stuff back here. Barracks, factory, barracks. Okay, so a lot of barracks and some starports. We're going to see some Marine, Medevac, and Marauder type play coming up fairly soon. A lair and a +1 missile attack and research for Tang. What is this? Some Roaches try to come up here and poke through, but this tank, I'm going to assume, shooed them away. Overlord was just planning on scouting later, but instead the Viking says, get out of our restricted airspace. We don't like your style. Creep spread across these rocks, which is always fun. I always like to see that happening. Tang's creep spread looking really darn good in this game for sure. Roach Ravager coming out here from Tang, getting that +1 ground carapace, getting the glial reconstitution. He feels pretty confident that no matter what the Terran player tries to do, this Roach Ravager could be the answer. Banshee making sure this creep spread doesn't happen any further up north here, as the creep tumors, when they're morphing in, are visible. These are invisible. You'll notice for a Terran player cannot see them. But when they're morphing in, they can get sniped down. So I think that's what the Banshee placement is for. Oh, there's the scan to see the creep tumors, and kablooey. Thanks for playing. A Viking flying around again. Has he scouted that Spore Crawler? Yes, he has seen the Spore Crawler now. So he knows that it's there. This creep tumor survives with 3 hit points. Another Overlord dies. This Viking doing a great job. Terran players do this. Get a Viking, just fly it around and find where your Zerg opponent has thrown Overlords. It's totally worth it. It's really hard for that Viking to die unless the Terran or the Zerg player goes mutas or corruptors or something. And even in that case, you're going to be okay. So keep it up. That's my recommendation. Creep spread still not continuing past these rocks very far. Banshee's still floating around. Both players not super interested in being too aggressive right now. And Raze, I really feel like he needs to get out there because it looks like Tang is preparing to take a 4th. Indeed he is. Prepping for that 4th base. There's a Queen here to defend against it with an Overseer. Even Tang's foresight is amazing. He doesn't want a cloaked Banshee to show up and ruin his day. So he has a Queen, he has an Overseer, and he's going to call it good. Creep spread still not happening. Our Terran player is, wow, great wall of barracks right there. He wants to be able to make a lot of bio and prevent Ling run-bys across this area too. So they'll provide ways for both of those things to happen. So in production, as expected here, Marines, Medevacs, +1/+1 for those Marines. Does he actually have any Marauders? No, going straight Marine, which I always find is interesting from Terran players. Marines are good. They're really good, but against this Roach Ravager thing that is so popular in LOTV, I just don't know if it's the way to do things. Trying to fly on in here and kill this Overseer. Is there enough DPS from these Queens to kill the Viking first? Yes, there is. Especially with Queen number 2 drop sneaking around this right side here. Just straight Marines, straight Marines. Gonna wait for that +1/+1 to finish before landing, I think, or might just land before he gets to his destination. Anyway, in which case, yep, gonna land right outside here. Gonna go ahead and try to snipe down this very, very newborn hatchery that is not even born yet. It is so newborn. And pop, there it is. Only thing defending here are a couple Queens, but this is a pretty darn big army. 100, 200 supply for Tang. Gonna head on up, but guess what? Stimming right on through. This base is in a lot of trouble. The Marines just focus it down. They don't even worry at all about the Queens. Can it be saved? Nope. The DPS on these Marines is way, way, way too high. Good job actually picking up the wounded Marine there. Raze not losing a single unit in that snipe, getting a full hatch. Ah, that hurts for Tang. It really does. Tang should probably replace that immediately, and there he goes. Now he wants revenge. Knocking down the rocks there. Heading on up with his roaches and his ravagers. Oh, did he kill his own creep tumor by accident? He did. Oh, Tang, that hurts. All right, going right on in. Your tanks don't scare me. Corrosive Bile is being used. Nice dodge by Raze, though. The Marines in the front lines are absorbing some damage, but they're not doing a whole lot here to the roaches and to the ravagers. The tanks in the back are really the MVPs of this battle for Raze. More Corrosive Biles being tossed down everywhere. And here comes a Liberator. Actually setting up some defender mode circles. 2 of them. Corrosive Bile is taking out one of the Liberators very easily indeed. The other one is still alive back here in the end, but Tang losing a lot. That tank line, very strong. 2 kills, 3 kills, 5 kills, 10 kills on that one tank back there. He is a sergeant, and he is strong. Raze dropping his Marines back here again. Going to go ahead and try to take down this base. There are some roaches here trying to prepare for that eventuality. And there is a Marauder on the map. Corrosive Bile thrown down to kill, an add-on, getting rid of that tech lab. Might as well take what's not super well defended. The tanks keep pushing forward, though. And here come the Marines. Nope, they got shoved away there by the tank, or by the roaches. Wow, only 2 Ravagers here. And the Marines and the Marauders take them down fairly easily indeed, despite the fact that they do have some upgrades there. So +1/+1 on the roaches and the Ravagers. And our friends Marines and Marauders have that +1/+1, 2, +2/+2 on the way. 18 roaches in production for Tang. So many. This is a pretty darn big army, actually. And I don't know. A lot of these guys are very low on health. But if he can get rid of this planetary fortress before it actually morphs in, that would be a huge get. He does force the lift off and the cancel of the PF2. A lot of SCVs going to die there unless they can run away. And they do manage to run away fairly effectively. These Marines stick their noses out a little bit too far. Not enough units here to actually kill that ball. Backing on down to the safety of the tanks once again. Any upgrades on these tanks at all? No. Not even any upgrades. Another drop. Nope. Liberators heading on into this base, taking some shots from some Spore Crawlers. Going to try to line up some defender mode circles before anybody notices what is going on. And yes, going to take down a bunch of drones there. And sneaking on through with a nice concave here is Tang. Can he get rid of these units trying to sneak on in there? Corrosive Bile's landing, actually hitting a tank that was already dead. Nice pickup. Nice save there from Raze. And forced to back out once again. He's done nothing. Oh, did throw a Spore Crawler up to deal with this Liberator. And boop, there it goes. And this one is going to be killed by this Queen and that Spore Crawler. But a lot of workers have died. 21 drones have been killed so far. It is 138 to 142 total supply. Raze is holding on and holding strong with the Liberators, with the tanks, with the Marines, and the Marauders. I like this composition versus Roach Ravager, as these guys with their upgrades can hold their own fairly well. The tanks in the back really doing tons of damage to their roaches and splash damage against the Ravagers, no less. And then Liberators too with that 85 single targets damage. That is just so good as long as they stay alive. And considering there are no Corruptors on the field for Tang, it's difficult for him to kill them. Corrosive Bile can be used, but it's just, you want to Corrosive Bile so many other things, it's hard to prioritize those Liberators when you're in the middle of a huge battle. This is another attempt. You have another drop back here with these Marines. The army shows up, and they're all going to completely die as the medevac just kind of moves out of the way. Says, I don't know what you're talking about. I wasn't here. Corrosive Bile trying to kill it. Can't quite pull it off. So lone medevac going to try to scout through this wasteland, but nope. Queen stabs it, explodes it, parts falling to the ground there. And heading north once again here is Tang trying to sneak on up. Ooh, getting a Marine. A little too far forward there, friend. As Raze goes for another Liberator harass. No Spore Crawlers at this base. How is that possible? I do not know. Liberator sets up. Corrosive Bile gets rid of that Liberator very easily, though. Kablam. Nicely timed. Another Liberator here. Another round of Corrosive Bile is being used. And do they get the Liberator? No, they don't. The Liberator actually stays alive here. Liberator not being used to do much of anything right now. Going to set up on that one. This one a little bit hard to get to just because the Spore Crawlers are a real problem. Corrosive Bile's landing and hitting absolutely nothing. Tang's been pretty good with his Corrosive Bile so far. Either Raze isn't dodging them very well, or Tang is actually being spot on with those. APM for these players is over 200 on average throughout the entire game here. Small group of Ravagers still alive, but no, that's not going to happen. Raze not allowing that. But reinforcements from the south side coming right on up through. Corrosive Bile's landing on a few things here. The tank count is just big for Raze. And look at this. Tang does not care coming through. Then he decides he does care. He decides to actually retreat to the safety of the creep there. Raze doesn't want to engage too far out on that end. Raze coming in with Liberators to set up on this base again. Spore Crawlers are on the way. They're trying to walk up here. 2 Queens get out of the circles. Queens run. Queens no. Oh, they got one of them though. Nicely done, actually. All right, so the Liberators do end up getting killed there. Liberator count lost count is at 6. No, 8. 8 now. 8 Liberators have died, and here he goes once again. Ravagers, Roaches, crushing against this wall of Terran suppression and dominion. +2/+2 up on these guys. Tang has +2/+1 of his own, continuing to march on through here. And the tanks are taking fire now. That's not what they want. They want to sit in the back and not actually take anything at all. Pretty good tank micro once again from Raze. And wow, crushed through that army fairly well. The Liberator died. The smoking corpse of a Ravager evaporates into the darkness. Oop, was that a Liberator? I think that might have been a Liberator. Planetary Fortress, can it hold out here? Not with the Corrosive Bile, additional DPS, I don't think. Can he actually get the PF? He does get the PF, just barely. All the SCVs trying to repair it. Can't quite pull it off. Another attack here with Marines and Marauders coming through. Going to go ahead and try to take down this lair. Can they get it? Yes, very easily. The lair is going to die. And pulling back is Railgun. I don't think he knows about this base, though. He doesn't know about that base at all. No, he doesn't. The lair dies. The evolution chambers are going to die, too. Broodling's coming out trying to save the day, but I think he's just going to pick up and run at this point. No, he actually leaves these units here. Did he lose a medevac in the process? Oh, some transferring drones get sniped down, too. That's a lot of dead drones. 30 dead drones to 20 SCVs that have been killed so far in this game. These guys are desperate to stay alive as long as they can, but no. Hoofing it back to the safety of the spawning pool. Turns around and gets exploded there. Exploded there by the acid saliva, which the Roaches toss out. And Ravagers do the same thing, right? Nope, plasma discharge when it's a Ravager, interestingly enough. All right, so this base is a command center upgrading to an orbital command, not even going for a planetary fortress. I think maybe Tang realizes, or Raze realizes, that PF got knocked down pretty darn easy last time. I might as well get the additional benefit of scans and mules. Corrosive Bile, oh, did he hit? No, nice dodge by Raze. Nice midair dodge by our yellow Terran player. Corrosive Bile's dodged once again there. That's doing better, Raze. You're holding on. Sneaking on up, trying to kill this base that does not exist at all. Corrosive Bile and the high ground really on Tang's side there, which is why Raze bopped out. Another pair of Liberators trying to sneak on in. There are 2 Spore Crawlers and 2 Queens, though. I just don't know what they can do. There's this base, which is nice, but there's no one to kill there. They can't actually hit buildings. Defend Emerald circles up. Roaches walking right into those circles of death. One dying, immediately getting 2-shot from those 2 Liberators. The Spore Crawlers trying to sneak up on in. Be so careful. Stay out of those circles. Stay out of the circles. What are you doing? I can't see him. He just sacrificed the Ravagers to get the hits off and got it. Wow. Double Corrosive Bile hits in the middle of the Ravagers. The splash damage was enough to take them down. Very surprising indeed. Small group of Roaches up here getting absolutely massacred. Another attempted drop here. Is this just, it's Marines and a Marauder in that group there. Sneaking up again. And this, I mean, this is like Gettysburg Field. Like, this is where all the dead Marines and Marauders and Roaches and Ravagers are, is the vast majority of them have died in this particular area. Tang has not been able to break on through at all. Another attempted drop down here. Roaches, can they get there? Getting rid of the Roach Warren would actually hurt quite a bit, although it might be actually accidentally going after Overlords. There it is. Now he's focusing down that Roach Warren, then turning his attention to the Roaches there as well. Big attack at the top. Tang throwing down some Corrosive Bile to cover his retreat. These guys still alive. More Roaches come in to clear it out, and they do. No pickup and boost here from Raze. Another attempt, another liftoff, and a run from Raze. You caught me. He says, you caught me trying to sneak a base. Oh, no. So it's currently 42 to 45 Harvesters. Tang is actually down in worker count, but up in base count, I think 4 to 3. Currently, these SCVs are going to die. That is not a good look at all. 33 drones and 30 SCVs. More and more drones dying here. I think every single transferring SCV ends up dead. Those are not drones. Those are, in fact, SCVs. Liberators know a drop coming right on in to try to deal with this base. Can they do it? I think they can. +3 there on the attack. Haven't even used stim yet. I don't think that they need to. Is there a defense force here? Tang's trying to get there with his Roaches, but I don't know if he's going to make it there at all. Sneaking in again here for another attack in this area, covering the retreat with the Corrosive Bile, getting surrounded and destroyed by those Roaches, trying to boost on in with these medevacs, taking some shots from Spore Crawlers. Never a good feeling at all. Might actually be able to kill one of them. No, not quite able to do it there, but kind of trapped here because there are Spore Crawlers here and here. Nowhere the medevacs can go really without dying. Heading on south here is Raze. Trying to clear out some creep tumors, but that's not usually how things are going to work. Let's go there. Resources lost, 18,000 minerals, 5,000 gas loss for Terran. 18,000 minerals, 7,800 gas loss for Zerg. So pretty even Steven stuff. Any tank upgrades yet? No, still not getting any tank upgrades at all. And you know what? I guess he's doing okay. He's doing okay without those upgrades. But landing his base here is Raze, and landing his base here is Raze. Looking okay. Another attempted drop down here, splitting his units across, trying to kill as many drones as possible, and doing a fairly good job of it. Just focusing drones, not worrying about anything else, not worrying about defending themselves, not going after the hatch, getting just those workers. 48 drones have been killed so far. Excellent, excellent job by Raze. Hasn't really harassed, or didn't harass super well in the early game, but has more than made up for it here in this mid to late game. Wow. All right, another attempted drop coming on down. I feel like Tang at some point needs to get a Spire. Did he actually replace? He must have replaced his Roach Warren somewhere. There it is. Replace the Roach Warren. Does he have a new lair? I don't know if he actually does here. Some SCVs trying to transfer in. Oh, SCVs, why? Why are you doing this? Just absolutely dying. Pushing up, though, is Raze from away from the safety of his tanks. Not a great idea. Another attempted drop back here. This base has done nothing, I'm pretty sure, the entire game. Tang has tried to make something work, but not going to happen. SCVs transferring directly into the teeth of the dragon. Oh, man. So many dead SCVs now. 55 SCVs have been killed so far. It is 11 to 31 total harvesters. Army supply, if we take a look at that one, looks like it is favoring our Terran player just a bit. Upgrades also favoring our Terran player, but can he get an offensive out? He's done a great job with these drops and with this harass, but when it comes down to it, and comes down to actually engaging big army to big army, I feel like Tang has been able to push him back over and over and over again. Tanks here, Marauders here, SCVs mixed in his army supply because I don't know why. Banshee's still sitting there with 4 kills to its name. It's probably picked up some attempted transfers from the Zerg army. But meanwhile, Tang saying, who needs late game? Who needs tier 3 units? Let's go Roach Ravager and just win. Looking great there. Corrosive Bile. So many defender mode circles here, though. Walking through here is Tang. Tang, I don't know about this. Can he do it? The Liberators are taking shots, but not enough of them are dead, in my personal opinion. Stimming forward here is Raze, clearing everything out, and that's it. A GG. Well played from Tang. Raze with the GG. Tang is defeated. Raze is victorious, and Tang has left the game. Wow, I mean, at that point, Tang realized he had about 30 workers. He had effectively one mining base because this one could never get fully established. The pressure was too much from Raze. This base was still running. Raze was tenacious, keeping this 4th base, getting a 5th base as often as he could, and that's what really helped here. And also just, I mean, Corrosive Bile is good against Liberators, but in the end, I think Tang really needed some Corruptors when he saw these Liberator counts getting so high, when he saw the continuous drops happening. He needed something to deal with the medevacs. He did end up killing 11 medevacs, which is good, considering there are only 5 left for Raze throughout the entire game. He killed how many Liberators? 14 Liberators and had 6 at the end. So, I mean, Tang did his best with it, but I think in the end the Liberators and the drops did too much damage for him just to basically not go for air at some point. But regardless, amazing game. Great ZVT here on Ulrena. A lot of different units, a lot of different attacks on all different parts here. And I really enjoyed casting, and I hope you enjoyed it too, because this has been Falcon Paladin with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter and Facebook, both at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.